So we joined back in for part 2 of our adventure. After last week, the group had continued to delve into the corrupted caverns and had discovered after passing through the pixie room very successfully, discovered a almost small temple or maybe small church-like room with shifting patterns on the ceiling. However, Ichi managed to see a spectral figure in the center of the room and realized that this was almost a chamber in which Lurixa received their prayers. However, as Ichi tried to interact, the corruption seemed to get in the way, trying to attach itself in place of any sort of connection from Lurixa. And as we left off, they had managed to connect for just a second before the room itself reacted violently, cascading down the angry prayers and insults from those mortals that still to this day, and quite fervently in some places of the world, blame her for the state of the world. And we ended with wisdom saves from both Dante and Ichi. Can I have those rolls now, please, boys?
No. Even with Ichi, do you say +3?
+3, yeah.
11.
Okay.
28.
Me.
19 plus 9.
Use your inspiration to swap numbers.
I don't have inspiration. I spent it recently.
Well, get flubbed. So
Dante, you did fail, unfortunately. But to be clear, as you're looking, these words and prayers are almost manifesting themselves as like a comet of force and energy skydiving down, and the majority of them do seem centered to the middle, as the spectral woman just starts to get bombarded with multiple. Dante, just one of these spectral meteors passes through you, and you take 22 points of psychic damage.
Oh.
As the words almost ring through your entire being. And Dante, you have been under the effects of magical mental manipulations before. There is extra guilt and extra pain and extra like for a second, Dante, you believe you're the reason these people are dying that are praying to you. And as it passes through in that pain, you are bleeding from the mouth and nose. And you sort of come back to your senses again. Ichi
and drop.
Ichi, can you give me an advantaged charisma saving throw? Just Dante, sorry, not Ichi, just Dante.
Why me do that, dude?
I assume
advantage, and you get the +3.
Everyone can. Well, you can't see.
We can't see the people on the ceiling, can we either?
No, and as it shifted back away, so all you see is all of a sudden Dante just like cries out in pain as if he's been struck by something. Okay, so you managed to resist the hot flames spark off. As Ichi, you just envelop Dante and back away, almost shielding now after the pain caused. You see it just for 30 seconds or so as you are able to back up to the door again in a way, but it just continues to bombard. And as it all settles, again, for you guys, the room didn't shift.
Eleni's fully pulled an arrow and is looking for something. And as they get back towards the doorway, she's going to be like, what the fuck? Like, what happened?
Do not attack.
It was all my fault. They're dying because of me. Oh.
And as it sort of settles for Ichi, the figure is now just again straight down, head down, almost you could imagine unconscious if not for the subtle attempts to raise their head every now and again. I'd say, Dante, as your senses start to come back to you, it's a prison. You don't think here either. This is like energy reflection mirrored in some bullshit, but this is a prison. It's not that the corruption is trying to... It's almost like automate. That's the defensive. It's, it just absorbs things and then bombards the room. Or you think that's a fraction of what might be happening to the person in the actual prison.
Oh, God. I feel like I've just been drinking out of a pig swill and then hit over the head with an adamantine chair.
Eleni is still full bow drawn. Like, talk to me, guys.
There's nothing there to attack. It's an echo of anything, something.
Oh, I think it's stopping it. I think it's a trapped or prison of some kind. Oh, fuck. Ichi, remind me never to do something like that again. Oh.
The priest would quietly sort of move forwards and sort of, do you need some healing?
Yes. Yes, I do. Like blood coming out of my mouth. Yes, I fucking do. And you know what? Dante says exactly that.
They will give you a cure wounds for 13 points.
Better than now. And
They will say
the only
that
thing here is I'm going to have to ignite my sword again, which is going to cause me more damage again.
Mm-hmm.
They will say, I can do it a few more times, but if we might want to save it to see what comes ahead.
Yes,
Haven't we still got potions?
You've all still got potions. It's just like, again, they're almost thinking if they, in this moment where they've got the time to quietly move up to you and give you a quick heal, it's probably better than when you need to use a potion.
We definitely all have multiple potions.
Oh, you all have, but it's better than you might need them for when you're alone and cut off from the group as opposed to with a priest next to you.
Rest for
As much as I didn't get the damage from the bombardment, did I still feel like the guilt and everything?
No. So you heard all the voices, all the prayers. And again, for Dante, as like, there was extra on it. Like, again, in the same way as sometimes Tenebris would get you so worked up that you couldn't see right from wrong. You couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. There was extra sort of mental manipulation in there that you felt.
5 damage on for me igniting Crimson Riot again. Which, by the way, I had 5 damage from doing it last time through Ichi. I took the damage there as well. Oh, fuck. Dante will just turn around and be like, wherever she is getting hits and just smashed from negative prayers. It's like guilt. I felt like I caused this. I felt like it was me they're dying. They're dying because of me. My choices. I don't know even what choices.
Question though.
I had one pass through me. She's having everything.
If she's being punished by the prayers or the souls of the people that were hurt and died, what part does the corruption play in this? Is it punishing her or restricting her? Or Ichi, you said that she looked at you and said no. Was she trying to warn you?
I'd say so. Because when my connection into the room disconnected, she looked defeated, like she had failed again. I don't think Larixa came here to cause pain or trouble. Obviously, there's a lot of belief in this world that her entering caused destruction, and if this is just a fraction of what she's going through currently, if she's feeling guilt, she did not come here to cause pain.
I suppose I'm wondering though if the corruption was created and then imprisoned her, or if the corruption is somehow being produced by her being imprisoned. I don't know.
Or if her escaping here brought the corruption, maybe the corruption's feeding off of her. She is the battery.
Maybe.
It's using her negative emotions, these thoughts of doubt, of of failure to expand. A greater being having these negative thoughts and emotions is probably quite powerful.
Are we saying that we need to rescue a goddess to clear the corruption?
I'm saying, could we please have a rest right now? Because I feel like shit.
Maybe.
You're definitely to be able to take a seat, either whether you want to fall back up or whether you want to just rest at this doorway. Nothing is shifting in the room now that things have calmed down and stopped.
Is there
I would say for
exit at the end of
Ichi,
here?
there is another exit on the other side. For Ichi, that reaction of like negative energy seemed to be in connection to you making a connection with her. There was like, I'd say, give me a religion. As this, and I'll say that you can hit a short rest here if people want to just sort of take a knee and.
Yes, please.
12.
Wherever, whether it's here, wherever, just short rest would be lovely for me.
As he sort of sat and sort of like looking at the figure and looking up at the prayers, similar to Dante, I suppose. You don't think this is all just the way it works normally. Because as you look in, and it is over the whole hour, there are people that you know that positively pray to Laritza. And you don't see any of them. Like, when you really, really look into the crowds of people, even for you looking into it, it gives you like an inner anxiety, like that's a mob coming for me, as opposed to just negative prayers. And even the fact that it's like jam-packed all into this one temple, it's like, and I think sort of as the hour comes to conclude, you almost think it's the corruptions part is like focusing the negative. Not that she wouldn't have seen them and got them anyway, but they would have been mixed in with the positive, and there's no positive here.
It's almost like it's numbing the good and only letting through the bad.
And maybe even hyping up the bad.
Just to let you know, I've used 4 of my hit die for the short rest.
No worries.
I'm back to full health.
Not a problem.
There's another thought that's just entered my head. What if it's Astera that's actually punishing her? What if we're not meant to help her?
It's difficult.
Whatever's happening, it's causing. It seems to be linked to the rise in the corruption.
It also feels like some of those words are to do with the perception that that Astera died.
I also think so. For Volu, the only thing, so like a few of the guards probably would nod and sort of say, makes sense. Harkon would also. If that was the case, Volu, and that you can even see the priest, maybe not voicing their opinion, but looks conflicted. It doesn't feel good down here. If the corruption was a production of Astera, like even if, even the, something to be feared, or some, fire is still something to be feared, volcanoes are still something to be feared, but they don't feel like this. And you can definitely see for the younger priest that's with you, he definitely doesn't know how to verbalize it. But almost, Volu, you've been in a few of these different places now where, you've been in glades in the Feywild where all of your emotions are suppressed and you feel nothing but calm and chill and want to sleep forever. And you've been in corrupted places, in material places. It feels like negative energy as opposed to positive, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what the conversation we had about what happened before, because the infections dealt with other realms and they tried locking it here.
Well, so it came
and they believed it came from Astera, not Astera, Larixa.
So they definitely believe firmly that whatever Larixa did caused it. They don't really know where it comes from, but also then Larixa seemed to interfere with them and stop them doing stuff, and obviously, rightly so. They were going to cut her planet from the cosmic rule, but they definitely think that it started in Astera and that Larixa caused it.
Just a thought. Do we know the image that we saw? That is Larixa?
No. Not confirmed, but
we can assume. But what if that wasn't Larixa? Whether it's someone who helped her, whether it was Larixa who punished this person, and is using the negative energy against that person? Just saying.
I understand that.
All I know is that whoever's getting all that, one prayer sent me flying, effectively. This person's constant under barrage. Not saying that we should help, I don't know, maybe we should, but we don't know if that person's actually a bad person being punished at the same time. So just...
I think that's what I'm wondering, right? If we're trying to clear the corruption, we don't know if freeing her would clear the corruption. We don't know if we have to destroy the corruption to free her. That's why I was trying to work out, is the corruption before or after? Is it the cause? The fact that she tried to warn Ichi against it, it feels like it's definitely involved in keeping her wherever she is, or it's involved in the punishment that she's getting.
The fireplane and the Fae, they wanted to cut off from the material plane, did they not?
Yeah.
They said that was where this corruption started.
Mm-hmm.
So was it Larixa that started it? Or did she just try to... Or was she doing something else?
I mean, that's what we've been taught, right?
As you sort of finishing that thought and the sort of short rest is finishing, what's everyone's passive insights?
I might as well be
16.
9.
13.
Okay. So Harkin would stand and sort of say, all questions I think we could answer soon enough, but remember our actual mission is only to find out where the source is, I think.
That's true.
Obviously, if you wish to clear, we will support you in doing so, but I do not want us to delay longer than we need to if we are going to have to come back down here.
That's a good point.
And they will sort of stand, and some of the guards will sort of follow. They're not pushing you on, but they're following captain's orders and getting ready to move whenever you say go.
Yeah. So we move on?
Yeah, Dante will get up. Is there anything in this room at all? Like any kind of old rubbings that might have gone dusty, or is this just effectively an echo chamber?
This room just seems like an echo chamber.
No.
So you could clear away, obviously, like there's the marble is corruption, right? Like it's definitely, that's not what is here in this room.
I'm burning off anything I see as I go anyways.
Okay, so it clears back to a standard cave. As you sort of clear it away, for Dante, you can sort of, as you sort of clear away some of the moving, shifting blackness on the ceiling, it does clear through, and you see cracks, and you sort of even more sort of confirming those drafts from earlier above. And this is a natural cavern or cave space that you actually think might like sort of lead straight up potentially, as in like almost like a place where you focus to the sky, even under the ground sort of thing. But for Ichi, everything remains, but as Dante clears it, it goes from corruption to a spectral form. Almost like the corruption was trying to copy what the memory is seeing, or what the replay, or what the echo is playing.
Just using the term echo, heartbreaking for me.
It always sounds cross-class.
Right. This is what I need from you.
But yes, they would sort of, after the hour, begin to stand. They were obviously, Dante clears the room of any sort of corruption. They will say previous formation again as we move towards. Okay, and they will sort of set up and get ready. So again, it's going to be heavily armored people towards the back, 25, 30-ish feet to Volu, 25, 30-ish feet to stealthy people and Dante up front.
I'm going to drop to stealth just as I'm doing it.
Okay, and you will do the same.
Ooh, only a 10. Shite. I was like, if we did passives, my passive would be a 15.
Okay. As you're moving forwards, you enter it almost seems like the first sort of things that you catch is actually sort of the trickling of water. And as you sort of step out, you almost step out onto a ledge that is looking over a room, not high, like 10 foot up off the water, but over a room that's like flooded from a trickling underground river or something like that. As you're looking, Dante, definitely the water's real, definitely the drop is real. That's part of this cave system. But as you sort of actually look up, it looks like the chamber heads further upwards, and there is almost again inverted pool of, like, it looks like, if you imagine 3 points around a fountain, in, like, if you imagine almost a star but 3-pointed, like a caltrop maybe, in between 3 statues of Larixa. So if you imagine it's like a pool or a fountain or a praying well or something like that, but it's on the ceiling. And it looks like, again, you're looking down into a scene, maybe out in front of a church or some sort of temple.
But we all can see it this time.
But you all can see it.
When we see this stuff, Liam, is it literally like they're upside down? Their feet are on the ceiling and they're...
Yeah. So it is literally as if you are, it's almost like you are flying about above the scene, as opposed to...
The basin does have a pool of water in it, but it's upside down.
So, and as you're looking, there is water in the image above, and there is water below. And the water below you do believe to be real. And you sort of, you're looking, taking a look.
Any corruption on the walls? Any sort of nasty roots or?
Doesn't appear so.
I don't know.
And actually, if you want to roll an Arcana, if you want to roll perceptions, feel free to sort of. There is only space on this bit of the ledge. It sort of steps 10 foot out left, 10 foot out right, and it's only 5 foot deep. So if you imagine, it's only a very small section of this.
Yeah.
Almost cylindrical cutout down into the ground.
Natural 20 on a perception check for a 26.
13 on the Arcana, but I was also going to do something.
Okay. I'll come back to you in a sec. Anything from Eleni if you wanted to roll anything, or are you fine with what?
I've got a passive of 17, so I'm not going to roll. I'm just looking.
No worries.
My nat one stays, doesn't it, if I roll it twice?
Yes, it does.
No, I'm fairly certain you just get to keep rolling until it's a nat 20.
I was just like, I'm not allowed to do ones.
Ones don't count.
Yeah.
So, okay, so
I'm not noticing and drop some crumbs in the water. That's what I'm doing.
You're thinking about the sausages.
So, Eleni looking around, just sort of taking a glance. It's actually the most natural cave-looking thing you've walked into. Do you know what I mean? Like, everything's ended up looking like this, but the room itself looks really, really untouched.
Okay.
And Dante sort of taking a look. I will come back to you for sort of what you want to do in terms of you sort of take a look. That's got to be magical. And you definitely think, in the same way as when you cleared ceiling stuff that was shadowy images before, it did turn out to be corruption, just sort of, you think maybe there's some corruption up there. Ichi, again, you sort of, if it's anywhere, it's up there, but it's sort of, for Ichi, there's a second hesitation where it's like, you feel like you're looking at a reflection. But obviously, as you look down, it's not there. So if you imagine if you stood outside a house looking into a pond, and the reflection you see of the house in the pond, it's like the ceiling is the entire pond reflection. But there's nothing that it's reflecting off. And as you're all looking, I'm actually going to ask Dante, Ichi, and Eleni to de-headphone for me, please.
Oh.
No.
As hold it.
I'm going to have to mute this, so bear with for a moment.
No worries. And I'll start just until you mute. Just give me a thumbs up when you're actually there. I was going to message you this, but I thought this would be more fun to do for the audience as well.
Yeah.
As everyone's sort of taking a look and you're also sort of peering around, you're finding it really difficult to focus in here. Your mind's very distracted. Since you walked in, actually, you keep smelling sausages randomly. And
that explains the nat ones.
And then you're like, no, but focusing, and you're like looking. And you don't notice that the rest of the group have frozen.
I don't notice that they are frozen.
Until almost you go to turn and say to one of them, like, I keep smelling sausages. And as you turn around, there is almost a spectral visage of Tanabori, who just smiles and almost touches you on your chest. And as they do, the world sort of fades around and you sort of find yourself stood in the glade again. And then you almost feel, not hear them, like, you feel the trust they have in you.
Mm-hmm.
And then they push.
You might need to send a message to them.
No. It works eventually. They're all used to this. We've done this a lot.
It's just the frantic waving.
Yeah,
It was like he said you might need to send a message. I was like, no, they'll look eventually. We've done this a few times now. They know to glance.
So is Volu still alive?
Well, so for the rest of you, you're all looking around.
Not the well.
Well.
And you're looking around and you're glancing and you are sort of like trying to pick things out. And all of a sudden, it's almost like you're all looking up and you look down and Volu is stood right on the very edge of the ledge, sort of smiling and holding his heart as he just falls backwards.
No.
Shit.
So,
how far away is he from us?
So Eleni and Ichi are close enough to reach out hands.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely would.
And as you do, no roll even happens as Eleni, your fingertips brush the cloak. And as you grip the cloak, that thing that you've seen Volu fix and fabric and it's well made, the 3 pieces and leaves that you're holding snap away.
Oh, fuck's sake.
And Ichi, as you go to reach, your entangling growth has extended out from your feet and roots you in place just short as you also snatch the air. And you all watch as Volu, again, not even like gleeful, smiling, almost as if he's sleeping, falls backwards. But instead of a splash into the water below, disappears. As it, like, where he should hit the water, just completely disappears. And Dante, as you look up, there's now a little figure.
Oh,
that was what I was going to test.
We're getting in. We're getting in.
That.
Get ready, folks. We're diving in. We're going to Scrooge McDuck this slime.
Fucking hell.
For Volu, and the rest of you can keep headphones on at this point. We're pausing time a moment as Volu. There is that whooshing feeling sensation as you do feel yourself fall. But for you, there's almost like you're still in the glade falling into a hay bale, jumping off the tallest tree like you used to, and knowing that, you know, the soft hay is going to catch you below. And you do land on something soft. But as opposed to like dry and airy, it's sludgy and squishy.
Mm-hmm.
And as you open your eyes and look around, you're in almost like a perfect carbon copy of the world, made entirely out of corruption. And actually, Volu, for you, those visions you saw of Cadfesi, towers made of corruption, and what you thought was this city corrupted, in the distance, you can see those towers still building up as the corrupted pieces still form and continue to build. I'll pause there for those on the other side. As the guards, everybody, like, one of the guards is like starting to get a rope. There's a few that are like, we're fucking in armor, we can't really swim. For the group, what are initial reactions?
Oh, how high is the ceiling, first of all? This thing that we've been looking at, how far up?
Ceiling is about 25 feet up.
So not impossible.
Not impossible.
If I fly, it'll take me a bit of time. I can only go 10 feet around, effectively. If I try and fly up to the ceiling, what happens?
Give me a perception. What are the rest of you doing as Eleni wings up and steps off?
My Arcana was only 13, but in what I'm
saying is happening is that so that's
Dirty
linked.
20.
Like that's how I've got this is linked, and I was thinking teleporter or portal beforehand.
Okay. So Dante, how you react? Obviously, you sort of expected it, but what are you doing as Eleni just wings up and sets on off? It's going to be, you're going to be able to react at the same time. So
I'm looking at Eleni because now I'm looking at her, kind of going, she won't be able to get to that.
I'm not expecting to be able to, but I want to at least go and look.
I'm thinking that in my head because
Yeah.
I'm also now looking to see what happens.
But yeah, that was a dirty 20, Liam, for me.
I'm pausing.
And okay.
And I'm close to the pool, but I'm looking at Eleni to see how far she can get and what happens if she goes through something or she hits something. And I'm also going to try to keep an eye on Volu. However, my natural perception is shite. So
no worries. If you want to actually roll it, that is also fine. You can use your action to roll it. And to Ichi, again, as Eleni sets off on a flight, you can see the guards are like starting to get out rope and things. And what would you like to?
Ichi is instinctively going into like protection mode of like need to get Volu out. So Ichi is going to rip the current roots from their feet, to go to their knees, punch their fist into the ground, spread the roots into almost try and like anchor themselves at 3 points of contact of both my knees and my fist, and it's just going to plunge their hand into the pool to see if they can feel, touch anything tangible, see if they can find Volu.
Okay, so obviously pool is 10 foot down, so you almost dangle yourself down, extending that reach. As you, firstly, so your hand touches the water, whereas Volu didn't even make a ripple.
Yep.
You reach down and like make contact with the water. It's icy cold as you sort of reach around anything, but there's no movement, no signs. Give me for Ichi for a second. Give me an I'm gonna say religion. And then I'm gonna flick over to the 20 on Eleni as they are sort of making their way to the ceiling. So Dante, I'm gonna say actually, what did you get on your perception, Dante?
12.
Okay, so you will see up above as Eleni is moving upwards. When you reach about 10 feet away, you start to see like not your reflection, but the shadow of your reflection, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But as you begin approaching closer, the ceiling bulges and a gloopy hand starts to reach out towards you. With the 20, you spot it close enough to just stop, and as you halt, it halts. But it is a like inky red hand that's
Have
like
I got my hand out? Is it mirroring
yes,
me?
It looks like it's mirroring.
So if I stay where I am but pull my hand back,
the hand sort of recedes. The bulge is still there though. You're guessing that you're like at the limit of what it's sensing.
But it's not accurately reflecting everybody else that's underneath.
No. And as you're looking, you can sort of see the figure that up this close is definitely Volu, and they're sort of sitting up in this weird pinky grass and sort of maybe starting to look around a little bit. So it looks like there's something in there moving.
If I wave in his direction, is he looking up? Is he seeing anything?
No, and it's almost for Eleni, you're almost like a few hundred feet up. Like it's almost like genuinely looks like the same sort of, if you imagine what a god sees when they look down on the world, it's like that almost.
I would go back down because I only have this for a minute, so I would sort of go back down, and then I would tell the others what had happened if they hadn't spotted that, and just say, there's no way to him from that direction that I can see.
I'm assuming I saw the hand and all that.
Yep. Ichi, after a few minutes sort of rooting around, you actually, again, extending the roots outwards further down. The pool itself isn't that deep, maybe like 10 feet.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see crystal clearly to the bottom of it, and you're not seeing any corruption. Nothing reaches out at you. Nothing attacks towards you. This does just seem like water that's not even, well, it doesn't seem like the water's involved, if that makes sense to you.
Mm-hmm.
The water is here naturally because cracks in the rock have allowed an underwater river to leak into this space, but it's not anything to do with what the corruption is doing.
Okay.
While you're thinking, sorry, I'm going to pause you there while you're
sure.
thinking of a moment. As I flick to Volu, what are you doing?
Yeah, that level of confusion that I've had since I've been in the room is just, it's almost going to the back of my mind, and I'm almost trying to focus on, right, what do I need to do now after hearing Tanabori? And I'm gonna try and look around, and I can see the towers in the distance. Can I see anything that looks not corrupted and similar to what was in the room before?
No. If you literally imagine somebody has taken corruption and Play-Doh made a little farmhouse and a temple church and...
So I'm in the Blades of Grass. Whereabouts am I from? If I look around, can I figure out where I am in Cadfesti?
As you look around, you don't actually think you're in Cadfesti. And actually, Volu, as you sort of look around, drop me a survival.
My rolls have not been good tonight. Oof, 24. Oof.
So, as you're looking around, definitely corrupted, the entire thing. Like, you think that if Dante came around burning in here, it would burn up the world, right? It's almost like a pocket space of corruption. However, as you're sort of looking, the way there's a shift in the air, and one of the mountains in the distance almost just shifts a little closer. And as you're sort of looking over, a bit of forest grows, and actually, Volu, reminds you of traveling through the Feywild. That ever-changing, chaotic nature of the Feywild itself, and actually, you don't think you're anywhere near over there. That's the same way the Feywild almost plays on the subconscious of what you want. And it's one of the first things you were taught as a child by Tanabori, that most of all in the Fey, you don't aim, like you don't know the particular direction, you just know kind of where you're going. And you travel with that intent. I want to be there, I want to see my family, and actually some of the reasons why material plane creatures struggle to travel in the Feywild is we can't help our minds but wander. And actually, you thinking about that loved one that you're missing back home finds you walking through a door and spat out back into the material plane, because that's what you were looking for.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to get up and start moving, thinking of the portal that was in the room before the pixies.
Okay. And you start walking. And for a while you're wandering, and if you imagine every 3 steps, the mountains and Cadfesti in the distance jump forwards, and you're almost sort of flicking through, and for the guys looking on the other side, it's fixed on Volu. So the temple and the pool and the other things shift away. But it is for you guys like shift. You're seeing it like zoom on, but Volu's just sort of stepping. Volu, you're just sort of walking. And can you give me a charisma check, please? So just roll plus your charisma. Roll plus your charisma. Yes, because
Volu ain't got no riz.
As Volu fully knows, the Feywild is a force of will to its own. What was it, Volu?
Don't want to say. 5.
Okay. So, as you're walking, you are occasionally finding your mind wandering back to thoughts of the Feywild. And you're suddenly into woods. And you're still sort of walking, but you're like now moving through wooded trees, and it kind of reminds you of the Feywild. And then you stumble out onto a village in a grove. Small houses dotted around and wood smoke burning. I'm going to pause you there as you hear the voices in the distance. As we come back to the other side, where the others are still frantically trying to find a way to get to Volu. There is now, the guards have put together 2 or 3 ropes, so there's enough to sort of rope up, rope down wherever you need to. 2 or 3 of them are anchoring. They're like, tell us what to do, we'll do it.
Can we try to... I'm thinking we try to throw something into the water to see if that also appears up there before one of us goes in. I was just thinking we haven't got Rufus with us. We could have thrown a sausage in the water.
And sent Rufus in with you. Oh no!
But Rufus could have found Volu then, because he liked Volu.
No. Look. Volu can jump in all he likes. I'm not risking our boy. I'd throw Dante in before Rufus.
I'd throw Dante in before we throw Rufus.
Yeah. I think definitely easily one of the guards was just sort of like Anya would pull out an arrow and just throw it over the side. It like drips into the water and there's no motion or reflection of it on the top.
Is there like a proper drop before the water? How deep is that?
10-foot drop. And again, now that Volu's moving, it's not even showing water up there. Like it was almost just circumstance.
Yeah. Is there like a ledge or like a bank next to the water, or is it literally a drop to the water?
Straight down to the water.
So I'm gonna look around for someone light, and I'm gonna wonder if we maybe tie a rope around that person and lower them down, and maybe they just put a foot or a hand in and we can watch to see.
Ichi did that. Ichi grabbed vined his way down and reached into the water.
Sorry.
And did it.
I must have missed that. Okay.
Ichi pretty much has determined that the water at the bottom isn't related. It's here of natural causes.
We've seen doorways and arches, but we haven't seen... Have we seen a way through to another plane while we've been down here?
Not specifically. I mean, the portal archway was probably the closest thing you've seen. Each as you pull yourself back up, again, you can see Volu moving now through wooded spaces, and actually looking, you can sort of see him exiting out into a glade. You don't really recognize it. It's not like jumps out at you as something that you should or would recognize.
And is there a way out of this room? If we'd carried on, is this like a dead end now?
Just a dead end.
So let me just remember. There's a room previous to this one, and then the one after that is where the pixies are.
Mm-hmm. So it's the prayer room, or the anti-prayer room, pixie chamber, pillar room with the
and then
stone pillars. and then the like mining room, and then the safety space.
So the only room that we haven't really cleared was the pixie room.
Yeah.
And we don't really know what was behind those walls, and if there was any kind of portal in there at all. What are my moths doing?
They're as agitated as you are, but not. Give me a wisdom check, actually. Each of what are you doing as again, the guards are sort of any sort of direction, but they don't really have any knowledge in it. As you're looking at Ichi, again, sometimes there's portals in terms of it needs a certain activation. Sometimes you need to step through it a certain way. You're sort of running over thoughts as you're looking down into the pool. What was the wisdom? Sorry. Yeah, okay, so the moths sort of feel like it's not a drop. Like almost you're getting the feeling like they're just sort of like, why aren't you following? Like you're panicking about where he is, or why aren't you following? That's how they're reacting. It's almost like it should be easy. Pause there as you get that feeling, and I come back to Ichi.
Ichi is going to slowly lower themselves down to the water. Like rather than just like touching it, Ichi's gonna get their body closer to it. Not fully submerging, like almost like using the roots in the wall to kind of like allow Ichi to go from just like holding on to like almost repelling to like where they're basically belly nearly touching.
Lying parallel with it.
Yeah. And then Ichi's gonna try and send out a divine sense, specifically trying to hone in on Volu's energy.
I want to do something crazy. I'll let you finish this, but I want to do something crazy.
You're going to cut my vines and just come
Sacrifice! Yeah.
So, Ichi, you send out the pulse. And you get the pings that you normally get in terms of elemental and the sort of slight fey feeling that you occasionally get from Eleni. As the pulse goes out through the water, there's nothing. And then just as you're sort of like grimacing and starting to maybe turn to pull yourself back up, 5 foot above the water surface. I don't know if you've ever seen like the sci-fi images of like a star collapsing in on itself, where it's almost like bursting energy in both directions that's escaping.
Yeah.
It's like there's a pinprick, and there is fey, celestial, fiendish, fey, celestial, fiendish. It's just energy's pouring out of this pinprick hole.
Like above the waterline.
5 foot above the waterline. And I'm going to pause you there as I flip back to Eleni.
So, first, a question before I do the crazy thing. Did Volu hit the water?
No.
Right. I'm going to take a deep breath and I'm going to close my eyes for a second and I'm going to try and really tune in with my moths. I'm going to really try and... I'm not trying to comfort them. I'm just trying to connect with them. And I'm going to think about Volu. And then I am going to fall backwards off the ledge with my hands over where my moths are.
Oh god, each just turns and sees a furball falling towards them.
I think Ichi, you turn definitely to the guards being like, not fucking again! And just another one of these fucking party members just turns their back and just fucking eyes closed, hands to the sky. But yeah, so as you fall, so Eleni, there's the washing feeling, and there's the washing feeling, and there's the washing feeling, and there's almost that thought of, oh, fuck. And for Ichi, it is almost like you hear the call, you look up, look down, and you're sort of expecting that hit.
Yeah, like cover, like wince almost as if ready to feel.
But so first off, Ichi, there is a massive spark of Fey energy that comes off Eleni that almost coats their entire body. And it's not visible energy, but obviously with your divine sense still running, you're just still feeling it. And as they sort of get close, it's almost like the Fey part bits, the Fey shoot-offs, reach up, touch, and almost in an instant disappear.
About that 5 foot above the...
About that 5 foot above the thing.
Yeah.
And I'll come to Eleni in a moment as Ichi is the guy, like, Harkin looks over the edge, is like, I mean, it worked, but are they all fucking suicidal?
No, just inquisitive and not fully thought out in some times, but that's not including me as well.
Do you think we know how can we get to them?
I think at least if Dante and I try to, if you all stay here for now, because last thing we want is for this place to get overrun with anything. At least if you're here, you can report back. Dante?
Yeah.
If you want to give it a go, my anxieties here are Volu, Eleni, and yourself all have aspects of other planes affixed with you. There's something here that seems to be reaching out from all aspects of those dimensions, but also none of them at the same time. If just trust the energy within you and fall in. If it doesn't work, I'm here. I'll catch you. And worst case scenario, we both take a dip in the cold water, which weirdly is probably the worst of the situations.
There's probably definitely someone.
Dante,
and then
don't mutter under your breath.
As you've been saying, they're already coming. They're just fucking.
Oh fuck!
Probably holding the flaming sword, great sword close to the chest as they also take the fall off. And again, similarly, as they get close, and again, not visible flames, but there is that burst of almost elemental energy seeking out from Dante that connects to strands as then again, roughly 5 foot above, they disappear.
There's a moment of like fear in Ichi because as Ichi said, Volu and Eleni both have Fey aspects to them. Dante has elemental. Ichi has none of that. Ichi is a watcher and is connected to the other planes exclusively in a gatekeeper mentality of protection of the current plane and protection of those from other planes coming through, and is scared that there's something tying Ichi to this realm. But then the drive to find their friends and to protect them and to kind of like embrace that aspect of protecting this world by embracing the others kind of like comes over Ichi and lets the vines kind of like reach out. And where Ichi's been spending time with each and every kind of like one of their friends, kind of like shifts some of the petals that kind of like bloom from the vines, some with red flourishes for Dante, some with autumnal flourishes for Volu, and some of purpley rouge from Aeleni's butterflies to try and like bloom to kind of like embody the aspects of Ichi's friends that make their vow more prominent, of proof that we're stronger when we embrace the other rather than reject the other.
Okay. And as you start to reach out to that glimmer of energy that you saw previously, you reach out your hand, and at first none of the strands seem to come towards yours, and even actually some like avert away from the tips of your fingers as you're reaching closer. And almost as you're focusing, your symbol glows as if you have cast a spell. And an almost spectral neutral energy reaches out, takes hold, and you disappear. As Aeleni, I'll get Dante to do one, and Ichi, can you roll me charisma saving throws as you arrive?
19.
Okay.
Rubbish.
So, back to Vola just for a moment. Vola, you step out of into the glade, and if you imagine the village looks lived in, but it's still all a play and all an act. It's still called corruption, and it's not really there. There's no people moving, but there's still the pot bubbling as if someone was cooking here just moments ago. And there's something so familiar to you, Volu, something deep inside that makes you think you've been here before. And as you're looking around, just for a second, a shadow shifts in the tree line, and you feel a weight of panic, and another shadow, and another shadow. As that happens, Ichi, you fall and eventually land in sort of squishy, soft material. Looking up, you are surrounded by trees. And out in a glade, you can see what looks like a child halfling, but they're just glowing Volu's energy. And closing in around, if you imagine in between you, if you're like maybe 60, 70 feet out from the glade, and closing in around this halfling child is shadowy figures that seem to be moving in.
Can I act, or?
I'm going to pause there as we get to Aeleni. And you fall and fall and fall, and eventually you open your eyes and you realize that your spectral wings are fully out and no longer just floating. You seem to be flying above the landscape. And as you look down and start to try and scan for Volu, there's a pit in your stomach, and the wings suddenly start to disapparate as you realize you are above the swamps in which your body was left. And you start to tumble and tumble and tumble towards the floor. And that is where we are going to call this week's session.
No!
Thank you very much for joining. As always, thank you very much for playing. If you are enjoying the adventure so far and you want to find out what happens next. Oh, actually, before I do that, You have now all crossed through into the Corrupted Realm. So as of next week, we are trying a little experiment over here on 1 in 20. And you will be playing with your Daggerheart character sheets from now forwards. For our audience at home, we have converted, as closely as we possibly can, the 5e characters into Daggerheart system. We will be doing our best to remember the new rules and shifts. But yes, while we are in this corrupted plane, we will be using the Daggerheart system.
Daggerheart rules, baby.
So if you're interested in seeing how that plays out, hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you know when the videos are coming out. And as always, rule well. Bye.
I just want to go. I just want to act. There's so much